Hello and welcome to the breakfast show on Bright Radio TV, your home of talk and entertainment. From the city of Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria, I am Ugo Mado. And with me in the studio this morning is Mr. Abutu Achema, my regular in-house analyst. Abutu, how are you today?
I'm very fine, thank you.
It's good. It feels good to be alive.
Of course, yes.
Good. And wherever you're watching us from the north, south, east, and the west, we say top of the day to you once again. And to keep you informed and entertained, the breakfast show comes your way as a starter for your day to ensure that you start your day on the right note. Now, Mabutu, life, the peace and sanity of oneself is something that cannot be compromised, and that people need to keep their peace and the sanity. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Or should we trade this for any other material benefit?
I would agree with that. But even if you would want to trade it for any other material benefit, it beats me as to the price tag which you place on it.
For that can equate to the peace and the sanity of one. So most times we find ourselves in very hopeless situations, and then we are lost, or we find ourselves between the devil and the deep blue sea. And I tell people that the only thing you can do is, they say walking is the best exercise, but in this scenario it's not the physical walking. You walk away from arguments that lead you to nowhere. You walk away from people who deliberately want to pull you down, or who decide to pull you down, or you walk away from people who are very opportunistic, and they are like parasites. They are only around you for the value or the benefits they get from you. And equally keep away from thoughts that reduce your self-worth. And again, you in life, fear is one thing that people battle with. I tell them that you need to pull away from fear. You need to convince yourself from the inside. You need to drive yourself with the right energy, because fear leads people to so many things. What do you say about that?
Yeah, you see, there was a study that I stumbled upon a certain time last year on the internet. And what they said there is that the emotion of fear is something that is learned,
yes,
and you can unlearn it.
Unlearn it, good.
So it's something that if you condition your mind properly, whatever it is that you are afraid of, that fear,
to conquer the fear,
conquer it in your mind, and that's where it is. It's usually in the mind, so you can actually conquer it in your mind. The positive thoughts, mindset, and you conquer fear.
Very good. Well, our tip for the day is that you take a walk away from all things that poison your soul. Take a walk towards peace, towards kindness, and towards love for one another. On that note, we say welcome again to the breakfast show on Bright Radio TV, your home of talk and entertainment. We will be back after this break.
Drinking water on an empty stomach immediately after waking up. Did you know that Japanese people have a habit of drinking water immediately after getting up? It's an ancient tradition for healing numerous illnesses that became popular around World War II after being released in a Japanese newspaper. The benefits of drinking water on empty stomach immediately after waking up have been also backed up by many studies. It is a treatment that is proven to provide excellent results to fighting numerous serious diseases. Some of the problems this water treatment can help with are headache, body aches, cardiovascular system, accelerated heartbeat, epilepsy, cholesterol, bronchitis, asthma, TB, meningitis, kidney illness and urinary tract infections, vomiting, gastritis, diarrhea, piles, diabetes, constipation, all eye diseases, diseases of the uterus, menstrual conditions, diseases of the ear, nose and throat. This is how the water treatment works. As soon as you get up in the morning, before brushing your teeth, drink 4 glasses, 200 milliliters, of water. Wash your teeth, but do not eat nor drink anything in the next 45 minutes. After 45 minutes, you can drink and eat as you would every day. After your breakfast, lunch or dinner, do not eat or drink anything for the next 2 hours. Those that are old and sick and unable to drink 4 glasses of water on an empty stomach, can start with drinking water as much as they can, and after that, each day increase the amount till they reach the needed 4 glasses of water. This approach will help with lots of illnesses, and a healthy person will enjoy the new energy acquired from the water therapy. As the story goes, doing this technique has the power to heal high blood pressure in 30 days, gastritis in 10 days, diabetes in 1 month, constipation in 10 days, and will also make you feel a lot more energized and improve your entire body function. This method should not only be used for helping with some of the illness above, but should also be implemented as a part of your life. It has no side effects at all, and it has the power to do wonders for your health.
Welcome back from that break. Okay, we'll move over to review of the major headlines across the news dailies in the country. To be part of this discussion, you call our line 081-2844-6000. 081-2844-6000 to be part of the discussion. When you call, you tell us your name and your location, and straight to the subject of discussion, which must center around what we've raised this morning on the newspaper headlines review. Please, you are to stay on to 1 minute 30 seconds and do not use abusive language or words against any person or persons, please. Okay, Abutu, we have this day, and it says, police raid 91-year-old clerk's Abuja home. It says, the Nigerian police yesterday raided the Abuja residence of the former Federal Commissioner for Information and South-South leader, Chief Edwin Clark. The heavily armed policemen who searched all the rooms in the elder statesman house alleged that they were in the house to search for arms, which they accused him of stockpiling. But in a swift reaction, the police, in a statement issued by the first public relations officer, Jimoh Moshood, said the Inspector General of Police, IGP Ibrahim Idris, neither gave the order nor aware of the raid. The policemen were said to have arrived at the Asokoro residence of Clark at 1:30 p.m., left the premises by 2:30 p.m. And then it's been It's been on the internet. It's gone viral since yesterday. This particular act by the men of the Nigerian police.
Well, excuse me. When you look at the scenario, the police, if they have a reasonable tip-off, of course, with the proper documentation,
Yes.
the search warrant, can enter into a premises upon presentation of the search warrant and search the premises.
Okay. In a situation where there is no...
In a situation where there is no search warrant and the IGP or the spokesperson for the Nigeria police comes out to tell the public that they were not acting on
Instructions.
the instructions or the orders of the IGP.
IGP.
Maybe they may be acting on the instructions or orders of the Commissioner of Police or
FCT
Commissioner of Police or the AIG in charge of FCT. We wouldn't know. But this has become a regular occurrence in the recent past. We see actions by uniformed policemen or who appears to be uniformed policemen with equipment of the Nigeria police carry out an act in public, and then we get the Nigeria police coming forth to tell us, oh, these people were not acting on our instructions or on orders. And it begs the question, on whose instructions are these policemen acting? What will be done or what has been done to policemen who have acted without proper instructions?
Yes, that brings to the fore that means they control the regulatory or measures are not in place in amongst the security agencies to make to serve as a deterrent to any erring officer.
Yes, I think we saw a move at the reform of the police, the Nigeria police force, with
As the SAS.
yeah, they are still part of the Nigeria police force, and we are hoping that with these things will get better with the police force, because it's becoming alarming when you see police people raid the residences of, if I may say in quotes, perceived political enemies of a certain class,
Yes.
and then the police force comes forward and tell you, no, these people are not acting on our instructions. Well, on whose instructions are they acting?
That leaves much to be desired. It's rather a very curious situation in the country. Okay, we're still on this day, and it says, rule of law must be respected for sake of justice, says the CGN. Okay, and then a peep into the paper says, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, CGN, Justice Walter Onongen, yesterday described the rule of law as an essential element in any democratic society, maintaining that justice could not be effectively delivered when the supremacy of law was not respected. Justice Onongen spoke at a national workshop for chief registrars, deputy chief registrars, directors and secretaries of judicial service commissions committee held at National Judicial Institute in Abuja. I am sure that he's trying to lend his voice to some of the people who try to condemn somewhat the comment credited to the president at the opening of the 58th annual conference of the Nigerian Bar Association in Abuja.
Yes. I think the response of the Honorable CJN is coming a bit delayed. I expected the response to have come immediately after the speech by Mr. President, His Excellency General Muhammadu Buhari, at the opening of the bar conference. So I think he should have responded immediately on that day, and the comments or the statement by Mr. President, His Excellency, really put many people off. I was in particular shocked by
that statement.
And he made a statement in the presence of the CJN.
Yes.
So I felt the NBA would have responded immediately and cautioned him immediately, or the CJN himself being in that conference, physically present, on the occasion where His Excellency made that statement, I expected the CGN to...
But the NBA did, in their communique, condemn that and stated the place and the position of the rule of law.
Yes, the NBA issued their communique at the end of the conference, not immediately after Mr. President made that statement.
Okay, we move over to The Guardian, and since yesterday it's been in the news, the altercations between the former Vice President Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and the incumbent Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo over the concept of restructuring. It says Osinbajo, Atiku in war of words over Nigeria's future. He said the debate on the need to restructure the polity gained unusual prominence yesterday as Vice President Yemi Osinbajo and the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar disagreed strongly on what the concept actually means. Atiku, a presidential aspirant, always told anyone who cared to listen that he is an apostle of the proposition. When Osinbajo in a speech therefore said, the problem with our country is not a matter of restructuring, and we must not allow ourselves to be drawn into the argument that our problems stem from some geographic restructuring. Atiku seized the opportunity to lecture him in a publication titled Osinbajo Got It Wrong on Restructuring. And what's your take on this?
This is, to me, this is very healthy for our democracy. That means we are having people who are coming to power who know that we actually have problems, and they are attempting in their own way to solve these problems. Osinbajo is a well-respected senior lawyer and an internationally recognized professor of law. So, Atiku, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, the presidential aspirant, he has been there also. He has occupied the office of the VP.
And then some people are even asking, okay, you were the VP, why did you not effect restructuring?
That is where I'm driving at. So when he was VP, I would beg the question, or I would rather ask a question. What were the efforts
he made
as the VP, then VP, for 8 good years to restructure?
Or to even commence
the problem.
Yes.
Well, I think all these things were the election year is next year. Because it's upon us already.
Yes, so. But on the other hand, the APC did promise Nigerians that they will consider restructuring ahead of 2015 elections, and that's what some people are saying now, that okay, why not come to power? Then you are now saying that there is no need to restructure. All you need to talk about is the management of the national resources, and the election is drawing near again.
A few years ago, the president made a statement that the promises were made by the APC, not Mr. President.
So now, again, that brings to the fore that there is no party manifesto, there is no ideology, because if you are riding on a party platform, you need to ride with the party manifesto. You shouldn't have your own manifesto and the party will have its own manifesto. Why this confusion?
You would agree with me that a majority of Nigerian politicians run on the party manifesto to achieve personal gains and personal goals.
But that's not, it shouldn't be that way.
There are many things in our politics that shouldn't be the way they are now, and it's part of the growth we're talking about. That's why I said it's good for our democracy, because people are becoming conscious, aware, they're becoming conscious of these things. You promise this and you're not doing it. You promise this and you're not doing it. Why? So I think it's a good thing for our democracy. We are growing. It can only get better.
Okay, we're still on the review of newspapers. You can be part of this discussion by calling in on our line 081-2844-6000, 081-2844-6000, or any of our social media handles, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at BRTV Africa. Okay, on The Guardian, it says PDP writes May Merkel over alleged impunity in Nigeria. It says the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, has petitioned British Prime Minister Theresa May and German Chancellor Angela Merkel over what it called the growing culture of impunity, disrespect for judiciary, and other anti-democratic tendencies in Nigeria. The letter, which was made available to journalists at the party's national secretariat yesterday in Abuja, drew attention of the two world leaders to President Muhammadu Buhari's alleged brazen attack on the principle of rule of law. What do you have to say about this?
Well, I believe this is still stemming from the statement of His Excellency, the President, at the just concluded NBA conference.
Yes.
Like I said earlier, it is rather
no,
delayed.
but it's not just that statement, because apart from the rule of law, and there are some other instances that have shown recklessness of the executive.
I do admit that on one or two occasions.
I think that's what the PDP is looking at.
I think on one or two occasions, some officers of the executive or some executive officers have been overambitious in carrying out their duties.
Yes.
But I don't think it lies with petitioning Theresa May or Merkel. We are no longer a colony. We are no longer a colony of the British. So I think what PDP ought to be doing at this stage is getting ready to take back power, or to be the proper opposition, which I believe they've not really done in the past few years.
Yes, some people have said yes, they've not been able to provide very credible opposition.
So I think that should be what they should concentrate on by now. I don't see the aim which will be achieved by petitioning Theresa May.
Yeah, because it leaves us as people who cannot on their own handle their internal issues.
If I may even ask, what would they want
Theresa May to do?
In this situation?
So it puts us forward as a people that cannot actually manage their own issues. Okay, still on the Guardian, it says Okowa berates Uduaghan, charges him to list legacy projects. Since Uduaghan defected to the APC, surprisingly, because some people are saying that whatever he is, whatever he has become, he was bettered by the PDP, and he was nurtured by the PDP until date, until he defected for reasons obviously known to him. And then the incumbent state governor says no. You cannot just come out and criticize PDP, because he made a statement the other day that PDP, they don't know how to reward people. They use people and they dump people. And certain analysts are asking, how do they use you and dump you? Because whatever you are today, whatever you become in Nigeria, politically, they gave you that platform. So today, it says on the Guardian, Delta State Governor Ifeanyi Okowa has charged his predecessor, Emmanuel Uduaghan, to list the legacy projects he claimed to have left behind, which his government destroyed. He wondered how Uduaghan, who could not summon courage to contest senatorial seat as the sitting governor, could boast about leading a mission to unseat my team, who are committed to clean up the mess he, Uduaghan, left behind during his tenure as governor.
But I believe Uduaghan must be privy to one or two information which we don't know about, for him to come out in public and make that statement that the PDP, his previous party, are only good at using people and dumping them. And being a political party, it's always a game of, in Nigeria, it's a game of personal interest. That is why they tell you there are no permanent friends or enemies in politics.
He's playing out in Akwa Ibom, and yes, the same thing in Delta.
It played out in Rivers State. It has played out in Akwa Ibom. Now it's Delta. Well, you need to give kudos to the APC making serious inroads into the south of the country.
Yeah, they are so much interested in the south region.
Yes, and
what is their motive?
Well, we all know that
we
all know that the South region
lays the golden egg.
I wouldn't say that because the APC they don't have any stronghold in the South region yet. But the 2019 election is by the corner, and it will present another opportunity for the APC to establish a strong presence.
But the body language and the countenance of our politicians does it not leave a very curious mark in the sense that they are not moved by commitment for national good, commitment to develop the nation as a whole, rather than their own selfish interests?
Yes, I said that earlier when I said that Nigerian politicians are only driven by personal goals, and it's quite obvious that when you seldom see a Nigerian politician who has attained one form or the other, or who has been in office for a while, you seldom see them leave the scene. They always find a way to recycle themselves and try to get back to the center of attention. Why? Because of the economic and the personal selfish benefits that are attached to the office.
Okay. Away from that, we were still on this day, and it says money laundering, TI, EU, others to track illicit financial flow in Nigeria. So in a move to end money laundering in the country, Transparency International, TI, in partnership with the European Union, EU, and civil society legislative advocacy, yesterday announced the development of a tracking platform to monitor illicit financial flow and money laundering in the country. The group, which added that the federal government loses over $50 billion to IFF annually, made this declaration during its stakeholders conference in Abuja.
Yeah, it takes me back to my excuse me. Takes me back to what I said previously. It beats me why the EU would want to track money laundering or the flow of money in the country. We are an independent country
and should be treated as such.
Yeah. So we have the Nigeria Police, we have the EFCC, we have the ICPC. These police can actually track any illicit fund transfer in the country, except if we are saying that they are incompetent to handle this.
No. I think maybe what they're looking at is a collaboration between the local agencies and the foreign agencies, because the transactions just don't happen just within Nigeria. It's an interplay between the foreign and local agencies.
What they say is that they want to track transactions within Nigeria. That is what.
No, I think it's financial flows, either from Nigeria to the foreign countries.
If it is Nigeria to the foreign country, they should track the transactions the moment it steps out of the border of Nigeria, not while still within the borders.
No. I don't think they are empowered to track movement of funds within the country. I think it's when it has to do with an external flow.
But either way, it still boils down to one issue. It's bad publicity for us as a nation.
Yes, it is.
We are known internationally for this type of thing, money laundering and
corruption,
and financial crimes and all that, and all those things. At what point did we become a people who have put or who have placed more value on money than on our good name, on our moral standing?
Yes.
You see, these are issues that have bedeviled the country for so long, and we all as Nigerians should put hands together and work against this.
Okay, on this day newspaper, it says 2019, 2 senators lead Saraki's campaign team to Northwest and Northeast. It's quite unsettling in the polity today, the interest of certain individuals to contest the presidential slot come 2019 on the platform of the PDP, because the APC already has a candidate. They are yet to unveil to us, but it's an open secret. Yes, okay. It says 2 members of the National Assembly, Senators Issa Misal and Ubali Shitu, are leading the presidential campaign teams of the Senate President Dr. Bukola Saraki to the Northeast and Northwest. Already the teams have arrived at 2 geopolitical zones ahead of the People's Democratic Party's presidential aspirants' planned visit to the 13 states that make up the 2 zones. And what's your take on this?
The 2019 elections are by the corner, so it's expected. He's working with his direct colleagues in the Senate House. These are people he has been with for the past 4 years, 3 years.
Yes.
And he has been their leader. He has come to earn their trust as their leader, and they are willing followers. So I think that's the proper thing to do. If I were to be in his shoes, I would do the same thing. The senators, I believe, have the grassroots support and it to be easier for him to penetrate.
How sellable do you think that the candidacy of Bukola Saraki is?
Every candidate of,
especially in the north, because there was this report I stumbled on a few days ago, and it says that the core north do not see Saraki as their own. Then the southwest do not see Saraki as their own. So kind of is hanging
the balance. Well, every candidate is sellable depending on who you ask, and depending on what they are willing to do, the sacrifices they are willing to do to make. Who would he pick to be his running mate, and how good or how strategic are the plans to win the different the different political regions of the country?
But obviously, Saraki is a frontline aspirant on the People's Democratic Party. Okay, this now, it says, still on politics, it said Adamawa APC faction opposes Bindo, endorses direct primaries. You know, in the last few days, it's been back and forth on the platform of the APC between the National Executive Committee and the National Working Committee of the party. The governors on one side, the senators on the other side, and some other political gladiators in the APC. There's a whole lot of confusion, the mode of primaries. Is it indirect? Is it direct? If it's direct, to what level? If it's indirect, to what level? And this is from the Adamawa APC faction. They are not having it easy with the state governor. It says a breakaway executive members of the All Progressives Congress APC in Adamawa State has written to the national chairman of the party, Adams Oshomole, endorsing the decision of the party to conduct direct primaries for all elective posts. This came against the backdrop of the decision at the stakeholders forum by another faction of the party, led by the state governor, Jibril Abindo, to the fact that it had adopted indirect model for the conduct of primaries for elective offices in the state. This whole back and forth, this whole argument for and against direct and indirect primaries, what does it portend for the APC?
Well, I think the idea of having the direct primaries, I think it's a wonderful idea, because I think it encourages party democracy. But you see, many people are clamoring for the former, which has been very, very good to them, because it gets their pockets laced.
But the challenge with the indirect mode of primaries is that it does not throw up very popular candidates, because we just have a couple of delegates who are compromised. At the end of the day, out of their compromise, they throw up a candidate that is barely acceptable.
No, that's what I said. You see, the direct primaries is very good for the party, but I think the timing is not proper, because you have elections by the corner. You have some people who are still in power, who have the resources to buy their way around. They have been taken aback by this decision by the APC. But what it does for them as a party is that it in a way encourages party democracy, and it will strengthen our
everyone
democracy.
Participates and feels that sense of belonging.
Yes, you can now have a candidate who will rise from the grassroots, not someone who has stayed all his life in Abuja, and he comes back to the state and buys up the votes and the delegates, and before you can say Jack Robinson, you have one candidate, and everybody's asking, who is he again? But what this direct primaries does for them is that it throws open the whole process. And I think it's a wonderful thing. I would encourage, or I would prefer it if INEC can make it mandatory for all political parties to adopt that style. It's very healthy, it's very good for democracy.
Okay, still on politics on The Guardian, it says David Mark, Jonah Jan joined presidential race. You know, this is what I call last minute decision to upset the status quo, or the equation, the entry of David Mark into the presidential race on the platform of the PDP. He says former Senate President David Mark yesterday declared his intention to contest the presidential election in 2019 under the platform of the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, as he picked his nomination form at the party's national secretariat in Abuja. Mark, who spoke with journalists at the secretariat, described as unfortunate the refusal of President Muhammadu Buhari to assent to the 2018 Electoral Amendment Bill, adding that the bill would have afforded the country an opportunity to remove the lapses in the previous elections. He promised to embark on restructuring of the country if given the opportunity, saying, irrespective of our political persuasions, it is incontrovertible that restructuring of the nation is an idea that has come to stay.
Well, everybody is talking about restructuring now in the PDP because, of course, they are not in power. When they were in power, they did not attempt the restructuring process. But that is our discussion for another day. I think I like the idea of these candidates coming up. But the only problem I have with the people who have declared interest to run in PDP so far is that these people have been the regular suspects over time. The same set of people coming back to recycle themselves. I think it's high time we started seeing new people, fresher, and more progressive and more egalitarian society. These same old people. They've not. I don't think there's anything new or special about them. It's the same old wine, the same old wineskin. There's nothing special or spectacular about them.
Okay.
But if I must add, let's all keep our fingers crossed until the PDP presidential primaries are concluded and the flag bearer of the PDP
emerges. Yes. Okay, this being the first segment on the breakfast show on Bright Radio TV, your home of talk and entertainment. And this is the much we can take from the newspapers today. At the top of the hour, the conversation comes your way. Please stay with us.